Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Powerwash Buddies. Today we are have our presence wonderfully. Blue's here. Blue Moga, wonderful, amazing, wonderful Pokemon Twitch streamer. Yeah, Blue, would you like to introduce yourself a little bit?
So my name is Blue. I'm old and I play a lot of Pokemon. I'm also ADHD and very easily distracted.
Me too, man. Me too.
Is the best.
I am gonna eat this cookie later. It's so tempting that I just can't stop looking at it. But yeah.
If the cookie didn't want to be eaten, why would it be there? Like, it's there for a reason.
Exactly. Lawrence brought it to me for a reason, and now it's here. I forgot to pull up all of my questions. It's really, really good. But yeah, so welcome, Blue. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to Powerwash Buddies.
I am so excited. Like I've been playing this afternoon for about an hour just to get to grips with the controls, because I played it like at launch, but not since then. And even then, I didn't really click with me. But today, I've been like all about this.
I don't know what it is about it. It's kind of like it just turns off my brain, and it's really nice. It's really nice to, think of things.
It's really good at, like, I know I work best when like my subconscious mind is completely occupied and I can just be present, and that's what like Pokemon does for me as well. Is like I can focus on everything weirdly, because playing Pokemon takes so little like focus and attention.
I'm glad that it takes so little attention for you, because for me it takes a lot of attention. But maybe that's just because I haven't.
It needs attention, but it never goes well.
It never goes well. Oh, that's so rough. I'm so sorry.
I mean, you've been doing the Nuzlocke and load, as have I. And,
yeah.
Like, I was streaming some of it the other day, and I lost. What was it? It was a water Pokemon to a random like wild Fletchinder. So it's like a fire type. Just knocked out my water Pokemon, and I was like, well, this is not how it's meant to work. This is not the way around those elements are meant to interact.
I don't think that's how the elements go.
Oh.
My cheat sheets don't do that.
I should use some cheat sheets and stuff, because I do not know my type matchups.
I found the most wonderful cheat sheet, and it was from someone on Twitter. I do not remember. I think the name is on the cheat sheet, but it's hard to go. I don't want to go find it right now. Brain is doing one thing. Brain cannot do 5 things at once.
There's a really useful website. It's called like pkmn.help.
Oh.
And you can literally just plug in, I'm fighting this thing, and it is water and dark, and it'll go like, wow, use electric.
That's amazing.
Like, nice.
I literally just have like a singular cheat sheet, and that is it. And then I just asked Nikki what everything is. I'm like, Nikki, what is this guy? This guy looks like a grass. And they're like, no, it's not a grass. And I'm like, what do you mean it's not a grass?
That's
goodness. But yeah, I found my questions. So, Blue, would you like to explain what your streams are about, and like what you do on your side of Twitch and stuff?
Yeah, of course. So I've been streaming now for 2 and a bit years, which is wild to like think about when I say it out loud, because
valid.
It's like that doesn't feel like time, but then time, as my wife will constantly tell me, is made up. And doesn't count. So I've been streaming for 2 and a bit years. I started off doing kind of like a bit of everything. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. I played a lot of the old Final Fantasy games.
Ooh.
As well as YouTuber's Life OMG edition, because have it. And I was like, yeah, I'll play this. And it's just a life sim where you get to be a YouTuber, and like you have to pick, I'm gonna be a games YouTuber, I'm gonna be a cooking YouTuber.
Oh, I see.
It's not a good game, but I played it a fair bit on stream. I also was doing a lot of Pokemon stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like Pokemon Sword and Shield are my favorite game. Like of
Mm-hmm.
any type of all time, it's Pokemon Sword and Shield for me. And so when that came out, and I was like, yeah, this is me now. I just basically started streaming a load of shiny hunting in that, and it was always shiny hunting for that first
Mm.
year at least. I'd say it was just shiny hunting until I kind of started a community event, and that didn't do too great numbers wise at
Oh.
first, but then like I did it again and again, and was this the third one? I think it was. The third one was earlier this year, and
Mm-hmm.
it just had like 40 people doing it, and it was absolutely
Oh my
like a
goodness.
joy to do. And it's how we kind of really got to know Whistler and Grant, and
Yeah.
a few more people in the community, Beta, loads of people that joined in, and it's just it was so much fun. I was like, okay, I like running events. I like doing stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
I found myself being like consulted with people's ideas, going like, "What do you think of this?" And I'm like, "I like the idea of a Nuzlocke competition, Whistler."
Oh, Whistler's
Um,
competition might be the end of me.
yeah, no, I get that. I am not a challenge run player. Like, I cannot do Nuzlocks. I do not know my type matchups. I know what I need to know to get by,
Exactly. That's all.
but
That's all that
but
needs to
not to
happen.
succeed.
Oh,
I
we gotta
wonder if the
clean the
bike is
truck
done. We've
too.
got another truck, haven't we? Yeah.
Oh.
I was just looking at the percentage and going, we're only 35% clean here. What is going on?
I did not know we had to do the
Um,
truck too.
yeah, so just jumping back, I swapped to just Pokemon after the World Championships last year.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Worlds, and I had been doing like a lot of like the ROM hack stuff and randomizers,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to just saying I wanted to go legit sounds a bit wrong, but it's essentially what it was. I met up with Nomi, who's the head of the Cookie Jar.
Mm-hmm.
I think this was I might have been in the Cookie Jar at this point. I don't really know. I think I was, um, and I met up with her and I spent essentially 2 days with her, just picking her brain and talking all things from life to Pokemon and everything in between.
Mm-hmm.
And she works with the Pokemon Company on
Oh,
various events. She gets invited to go to all of these events,
that's so
and she was
fancy.
just telling me like, I know, right? She was like, they don't like to acknowledge the existence of like ROM hacks, and they don't like when people do things that are not within the original constraints of the game.
Mm.
And so I was like, you know what? If I ever want to work with this company, which I do, I'd love
Mm-hmm.
to. It's like I can't work with them and keep doing this kind of content.
Gotcha.
So I swapped to just doing the like regular old shiny hunting, which I
Mm-hmm.
mean is tough enough as it is. Um, but then earlier this year it was like there's another gap here, that's some stuff that people aren't doing in the kind of localized community that we have. There's a
Mm-hmm.
load of us, especially British Pokemon streamers, that are just all doing very much the same things, just with
Yeah.
very similar personalities as well. But I saw that no one was doing speed runs, so I started trying to do speed runs. I am not good at them, but they're so much fun.
I have a whole lot of like a load of fun watching you do your speed runs.
I'm
Um,
going to be doing another one, depending on how badly my current Nuzlocke and load run goes. I might be swapping to one sooner rather than later.
that's how I feel like I'm gonna do like soon. With my nose lock and load stuff, I might just end up swapping to do the Sims now. Um,
Are you a big Sims fan?
well, didn't actually used to be like at all, but my boyfriend plays a lot of it, and I really like building stuff, and it's I'm currently building like a whole bunch of like Barbie things because if you guys don't know, the Barbie movie that just came out is literally one of my favorite movies of all time now. Um,
I've not seen it, and I
It-
feel bad saying that.
It is
I
on
do want to
YouTube
see
to
it.
buy if you want it. Unfortunately, it's not streaming, but
Okay, payday's not that far away. I
but
can,
I
I'm
had
going
a
to
good
be
time.
off work still when it's payday, so
Mm.
maybe I'll be looking for things to do.
It's a good time. It's very funny, and I give it a very high review.
I've heard nothing but good things about it. It's definitely one on that list that is like, I will watch this at some point. I don't know whether our toddler will watch it.
Yeah, no.
You know, if it's not got cars in it, but then it should have cars, right?
Yeah, there's like a
He's
whole
obsessed with cars.
there's a whole section of just Ken being obsessed with truck cars. That's what he calls them, is truck cars. Which I think that
Yeah.
this truck would be a truck car, wouldn't it not?
Think so. I think that's fair. We're at 96%.
Why does not clean? Oh, okay, it's the end of this. But yeah, guys, we're gonna go through a little bit of the Final Fantasy VII stuff, because in light of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth getting announced, and I bet Blue and I are just absolutely foaming at the mouth.
Fair.
But yeah. So Blue, I also want to talk about like some kind of serious-ish things, you know?
Yeah, go for it.
But like, what have you found that like motivates you? You know, like what's like?
You know what? Streaming is a big one. The act of streaming itself is kind of one of my fewest, like, safe, happy zones where, like, I'm in control of what I'm doing. I'm in control of what I'm saying for the most part. And I've got such a good kind of group of people around me that I know that if anything was to like be said that would kind of be against what I believe, that there's enough people there that could help kind of root that out. And so I feel like streaming is one of, like, the act of streaming itself is one of my favorite things, and I always feel like I have a good time doing it. The biggest like thing for me with streaming though was just to have fun, because work can be stressful, life can be stressful. Thankfully, I'm in a very happy, safe relationship where we've been, what how many years is it now? It'll be 13 years in like 3 weeks.
Congrats.
I don't know. It's a while.
While.
It's a while, yeah. And so like it was that moment of like I was getting very stressed when we had our son. I struggled with like sound and stuff. So having a safe space in streaming was like, yeah, this is what I'll do. And now it's as much to go like, well, if I could maybe get a Twitch payout from ads and stuff every couple of months, I can buy him some cool cars. And that's the big thing now.
That's
It's just
the big thing.
having
Aw.
fun and knowing that this is a limited thing. I'm not going to do this forever.
Yeah.
But whilst he's young enough that it doesn't really detract from time with him, where is this dirt?
I don't know.
I bet it's on the bike, isn't it?
Oh, there's some right here on the exhaust pipe.
Yeah, I just want to have fun without kind of getting in the way of having fun, like with my wife and son.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard a ding.
I love that.
How about you, if you don't mind me asking? Like, why did you start streaming and stuff?
Well,
Because I
for
know
streaming
I've got reasons
wise,
for me.
streaming wise, so I have a not real big sister, but she's basically my big sister. She
Family is chosen.
also
Fully believe it.
does.
It's fine.
She also does like a whole lot of streaming stuff, and she started it during like whenever she got laid off from her job from the pandemic. And I was a mod on her channel, and I was like, this looks like so much fun. And like, and then I tried to start streaming back whenever I was in Oklahoma, and it did not work because I lived in the middle of nowhere with no internet, and it was awful.
Yeah.
And with a silly little MacBook, and it did not work at all.
Oh,
And then
I've just seen
I
my
moved.
wife got her shiny Fennekin. Sorry.
Congrats.
She's put in chat. I just got my shiny Fennekin.
Oh my
she
gosh.
didn't make a noise.
Oh my
she
gosh.
sat next to me and I did not know.
Let me put my pogs in. There we go. All right. Congrats.
Sorry to distract her.
Congrats,
I'm
Blue's
easily
wife.
distracted.
What was he saying? Oh, yeah. So
No
for
internet, yes.
so I moved in with my boyfriend last October. It's almost been a year, and I cannot believe that it's almost been a year.
Nice. That's so cool.
But I
Time is made up. That is so cool.
I got a like I have like this big old PC that I got like prior to moving, which moving this thing scary. The scariest thing I've ever done in my life was moving this thing. This big old boy. It's already been almost a year. I know. Isn't that crazy? But yeah, so I did all my stuff. I transferred all my OBS stuff from my little MacBook, and here we are now, just having a good time, meeting so many new friends, which is like the main part of why I wanted to start streaming, is that like I am very much a big I want to make friends kind of person. So having all of these people and like meeting Grant and Whistler and thus meeting you afterwards, it's been a really good
That was
time.
so cool when they raided you and Nikki doing the Soul Link.
And honestly, like Nikki and I were talking about this, and that like we appreciate the whole like you guys like so much. And it's not only just because like I got affiliate from that stream, but more of it's you guys like accepted us like without anything, like without any what's the word?
Door handles, but they're clean.
But they're clean. Oh, it's the tops of them.
Ah.
I just jump up. There we go. But yeah, you guys like accepted us without like any sorts of prerequisites or anything. I hope I didn't miss much. I saw that you were alive. Yeah, you didn't miss much. Don't worry about it. We're just talking about like what motivates us and things. Don't worry about it. Wow. Yeah. Oh, we did it. I think I have a sound actually that plays that. But yeah. So it's just been me motivating myself, especially with streaming, to just like make new friends. And
no, that's so cool. And you're obviously very good at it.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Anna, for the victory found.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Like, I always like think back to when I started streaming. It was because I wanted to get better at public speaking. So, like, ooh, this thing's cool.
Yeah.
Sorry.
This thing's really cool.
I was just generally a nervous wreck whenever I had to talk to people. But I always knew, like, hey, I can do this. I just need the chance to actually do it. And so I started streaming as like, well, I can just practice talking. Like, I also started doing a podcast around the same time. Or rather, I got asked if I wanted to join a podcast, which was cool. It was not something I expected. And I started doing it, and yeah, I just had so much fun. And it was around the same time that I started taking my current meds. And it was like, you know what? These might actually let me talk properly and get to interact and stuff.
The thing is that like words are just hard. Words are so hard. Oh my goodness.
There's so many.
Grant, thank you so much for the raid. Thank you so much for coming in. Welcome. How are we all doing? I hope we're all doing well. The Golden Bro. Z, do you remember how to do shoutouts If Z's still around, if not, I can do it.
Slash shout out Golden Bro. Whilst I
Fine, I
clean
got
this
it.
thing's
Okay.
butt.
Z, can you do a shout out for Golden Bro, aka Grant? I love how you guys all came in and then suddenly there's an ad. I feel so bad. Um, but I hope
These things happen.
I hope you all are doing well.
We definitely weren't talking about Grant at all.
We definitely weren't just talking about Grant at all. But yeah, we're just doing some things. We're talking to Blue, you know, things like that. My questions are missing again. Oh heck yeah, Z did it, guys. Z knows how to mod. I'm so proud of them. They're the best. Yeah. What were we talking about before Grant interrupted us?
I was saying that I got into streaming to get more comfortable with speaking, and then I've since realized that like my strength as like it crossed over to like my work life, that my strengths are talking to people and relationships, and like streaming has really helped like push that narrative for me as well, to kind of take more control of like, this is the kind of stuff I want to do because I can talk, and I do talk a lot.
Me too, man. Me too.
Hannah's just sat on the sofa nodding her head. Yep, that's what 13 years will get.
I can't, like, Lawrence and I, we've been dating for about, like, 2 years. And I cannot wait, for, like, because we're very much already kind of that, like, partnership. Is this thing moving?
I haven't seen it move, but maybe.
It's moving! This thing is looking at me.
Oh yeah, the bits that yeah, it's moving. That's a bit weird.
I don't like it that it moves.
No, why? What can I climb on it? Will it like knock me away?
Oh, I hope it does.
There is a stool.
I don't like the fact that it moves. I'm just gonna go behind it and not look at it, and
I'll just spray it in the face.
maybe
you go
it'll
clean it. I'll distract it.
You distract it. Yeah, Grant, we were just talking about you actually, and how amazing you are.
Yeah, specifically the raid in at the Soul Link to Joy and Nikki doing the Soul Link as well. There's nothing bad.
There's nothing bad. We weren't like dogging on you or anything, so don't worry about it.
Bad.
I don't think I have anything bad to say about it.
I've met Grant quite a few times, and I don't have anything bad. Yeah, I don't tend to.
Didn't you get Grant to
worry
like really into Melon Bond?
Yeah, yeah. So Grant, Apple, Whistler, and I hung out in London, and we went to the Japan Centre in Covent Garden, where I bought everyone melon pan. And then Grant and Apple went and bought like another 7.
I love that. It's wonderful.
Well, it's like one of those where it's like, people have food sensitivities. Like, I bought everyone one not expecting them to just be like, oh yeah, I'm down with this. But then Grant had it and was like, yup, this is me now.
We had a supply
this is the only
for
food I will
the
eat.
week in the car. I love that. I love bread and bread consistency things. So I'm
every
so
time
down.
I go to London, I will do my best to get to Covent Garden, get to the Japan Centre just to get some.
I'm so thankful that Lawrence like works like not too far from the like Japanese market. Nice. Here in the big old city. Yeah, it's really nice. I'll show you Finnegan eggs. Congrats.
Nearby. Oh, before I forget, Grant, if you're there, did you get the shiny Sprigatito? Or is
the
that
last time
still
I
a
checked,
sore subject?
Yeah, the last time I checked, there was no cat. No?
Ooh,
Still no cat?
3,000.
Oh,
Holy
Grant.
moly. I know that
Oh,
Duck's been struggling with Sprigatito, and I know that Clever um, went for about 2,300. Ooh, we have ladders.
there's a ladder.
What? I can
Whoa!
climb this thing. I can then fall off this thing. Oh my god, I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh, it's floating. Great
I
job.
just placed a buttload of scaffolding, and I have
Yeah,
no idea how. This
I
has
don't.
never happened
I
for me
think
in this
you're.
game.
I think you're so buff, so buff. Um, but Blue, what is like some of your favorite things? Like, what are your favorite things to do? What are your favorite games? What are your favorite movies? You know, what's some
So,
favorite things of Blue's?
it's funny you should ask, because I've been thinking about favorites a lot lately, ever since I saw um, someone comment on, when neurotypicals ask what your favorite movie is, they don't necessarily mean what is your number one all-time favorite film. They mean what are some films that you like, so they can get an idea about you. And I was
What?
like,
Wait,
what?
pause.
I always just try and
What?
think of my number one, and it's like I don't know what my number one is. There's so many films.
Like, I know what my number one favorite movie is, and it's been my number one favorite movie for like forever. But like,
So it's not the Barbie.
they don't
movie,
meet. It's not the Barbie movie now. My favorite movie is Atlantis: The Lost Empire, and it's been my favorite
then. Oh,
movie
really?
literally since I was born. So,
I don't know what my favorite movie is, but I've got a fair few. Like, I've always been a fan of like Wes Anderson films, specifically The Royal Tenenbaums is one I will go back to quite a bit for something a bit different. I really enjoy the film Battle Royale, but it has been about a decade since I watched it, so who knows if it still holds up. And this bit will not clean. Stop being green and be red instead. Uh, what was I saying? Films.
yeah.
Into the Spider-Verse, I think, is
Oh, that's a
probably my
good
number one
movie.
film. I've not seen the sequel. I want to, but like we haven't been to the cinema since before our son was born. I might have been once actually to see the Demon Slayer Mugen Train,
Yeah,
just because like I had to. I have a
you
Demon
had to.
Slayer leg tattoo. It would be rude if I didn't.
I didn't know that you had a Demon Slayer leg tattoo.
Heck yeah.
That's wonderful.
Tanjiro Nezuko on my leg.
That's
I
so
recently
wonderful.
got My Hero Academia tattoo,
Wonderful.
as in on Friday.
On Friday? Yeah, it was.
It's peeling quite a lot.
Oh, goodness. I don't know
I've
how
now got
tattoos work,
2
but my
tattoos.
boyfriend has a couple, so.
I've got quite a few now. Currently none booked though, so that's good.
Woo!
They're expensive.
Yeah.
I don't have money, but I also don't make good financial decisions. So you know.
Sometimes you just need to get a anime tattoo so you can
Exactly.
have a little bit of serotonin, and then whenever you look at it, you're like, wow, look at that. There's
Even the
art on
ones
my
that
body.
I can't see. Like I have a Togepi that I cannot see.
Oh,
No matter what I do, I cannot see it. It's on the back of my arm.
Aw.
I can't get that to my face. But he's there, and he's just a guy.
he's just a guy.
He's just a cute little goofy guy.
Sometimes you just need a guy.
Exactly.
Maybe it's
Whereas
just like the thought
newest
of the
one
guys.
was Deku from My Hero Academia as a child, dressed in his All Might pajamas. And
Aw.
it's just like he's just a little guy as well.
He's just a guy.
Yeah, favorite things. That was
Yeah.
before tattoos. Yeah, films. I love some older films like Back to the Future and Bill and Ted is one of my favorites. Just because Bill and Ted was ridiculous, and I like ridiculous. But then there's always like Disney and Pixar as well. Will always be a big part. I mean, when I proposed to Anna, we were on holiday at Disneyland Paris.
Oh my
So
goodness.
Disney has been a big thing for the pair of us. And sorry, just getting out the way of this moving thing. But in terms of TV, I don't really watch a lot of TV. We watch a ton of YouTube, mostly because my son is obsessed with Hot Wheels. So we watch a lot of Hot Wheels monster trucks. and Hot Wheels City.
You know, that's valid.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not. There's worse things.
Exactly.
The toys are really cheap, so like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to complain about it. But I've always got like a soft spot for the US adaptation of The Office, the one that I go back to, just because that's kind of like that comfort show. I know exactly what to expect. I've seen it so many times.
That's what Lawrence says about it too, because Lawrence is the same way. He, like, whenever we're having like a day where we're just like, the spoons are gone and we no longer want to be a human, he just turns on The Office and he sits there and watches it. Granted, I definitely turn on this game at this point and not listen to The Office at all, but
that's also valid. I know there are bits of it that definitely have not held up well, but I think compared to a lot of shows of its time, it's held up a lot better than some.
Lawrence and I just recently finished watching Parks and Rec. Am I stuck? Okay.
I was about to say Parks and Rec is one that I feel like in some places not so great anymore.
Yeah.
Wasn't great at the time, but wasn't really aware, or was more ignorant and chose to not be aware. But it's like, I don't know that there are many guys who were actors in that show who have not turned out to be awful. Still enjoyed the show.
Yeah.
Used to be like my number one. But like we actually like, I know Anna's favorite show is Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And we've never finished it, so we need to get on that. We watched an episode yesterday. Yeah, so we're getting there.
I know that Lawrence wants to show me Brooklyn Nine-Nine soon. So
it's all on Netflix, at least here anyway.
Oh.
I assume probably like Peacock or something in the States.
Probably.
We still have The Office on Netflix. So
oh.
We're fortunate.
That's nice.
But yeah, there's so many different animes would be in my top few, and stuff like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I loved that kind of introduction to like Monster of the Week type stuff.
Yeah.
And like any procedural, like, this is the new thing this week. This is what we're fighting or diagnosing or lawyering.
Lawyering.
There's so many different like variations of that kind of genre of, there's one thing that we're dealing with this week and it may have a slight impact on an overarching story, but this is the one for now. I've recently been rewatching House. So like House MD, and it's just been that nice like chill, like, yeah, he's just diagnosing lupus for the 1 millionth time. So like it's nice, easy to watch TV because there's like, there are stakes, but like I've seen it before, so the stakes aren't.
Yeah, the stakes aren't that high, so it's okay.
Yeah.
That's
this
wonderful.
Thing is so big. Why is it still so dirty?
Yeah. What did they get this thing into to become this dirty?
Like, they really need to put it somewhere with a roof so it's not getting like rust and rain.
Exactly. What is Heideggen
on,
thinking?
Do better. Abdomen swivel joint. That just sounds wrong. Why am I cleaning an abdomen swivel joint?
Well, it's swiveling, isn't it?
Well, true. It's swiveling all over the place. I just hit tab. So much of it is orange joy.
Oh, gosh.
I think we could be doing this for a week. I don't know how to get up to some of it.
So, I know why it's all gross in its main story lore. Main story, like, Powerwash main story, or main story, like, Final Fantasy VII main story?
I should. I've played Final Fantasy VII so many times, but I've only played about a third of the remake, and I feel awful about it.
I love the remake so much.
I just got so bored of walking.
Oh, that's so valid.
I got to a point where I was just walking behind Aerith, and was still walking behind Aerith, and it's like, she's like, "Come on, follow me," and I'm like, "I'm ahead of you, hurry up." And I was like, you know what? I've not got time for this. I know the story. I know the game. I know it inside out. It's not my favorite.
Do you
fell off that
have a favorite Final Fantasy?
I do. It's a fairly common one. Like it's Final Fantasy 9 is my favorite
Oh.
because at the time I had played. So I played 7 around a friend's house at like a sleepover.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the kind of game you play
Yeah,
at a sleepover when there's
that's
like
kind of the
20
kind of
people.
game. Mm-hmm.
Well, you play a one-player. And I loved the little bit that I played. But Final Fantasy 8 was out soon after that, and so I started and played Final Fantasy 8. And so I played this deep, serious game. And I went back and played 7, and there's this deep, serious
Yeah.
eco-terrorism game. And then I played Final Fantasy 9, and it's like, yeah, there's a wizard and a princess. And I was like, yeah, that's more like it. Give me like wizards and princesses and knights, and I am all about that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that just clicked with me. And I think Final Fantasy X is, oh heck, I just fell off this thing. Good thing there's no fall damage. Hey, Final Fantasy X as well. I loved. I've got so many different copies of Final Fantasy X. One of them is signed by 2 of the voice actors.
Ooh.
There's so many voice actors.
There's so many voice actors.
It's Tara Strong and James Arnold Taylor are the 2 that have signed it. So like it's 2 of the good ones.
Obi-Wan Kenobi and Twilight Sparkle.
Exactly. To give them their full names.
Their full government names.
Princess Twilight Sparkle.
Sorry.
I'll have you know.
Sorry, Princess Twilight Sparkle.
We used to be big into My Little Pony, and we've got loads of these figures like Funko, not pops, but like they did like straight up just action figures, and we've got them all boxed and some of the chase ones, and they're just sitting on a shelf with stuff in front of them.
That's something I do look fondly at as a part
Kitty
of like
Fairy, yes.
Sorry. What's the word? Nostalgia, I guess. That's not really the vibe that I'm going for My Little Pony, but I was very into it, and so was Z, and I don't know, it was a nice time with the 2 of us.
Yeah, we watched a lot of it when we lived in our first place together. Anna and I are in our second. Is this only the second place we've lived? Yeah. So we lived in a 2-bedroom flat where I still work for like 5 years, and then we've been in this place for about 5 years. It's 1-bedroom flat, which is fun with a toddler.
Yeah.
And a cat. Can't forget the cat.
Oh.
Can't forget the cat. He won't let you. He's so loud.
Yeah. That's how I feel about Felicia. She's so loud.
And yeah, when we were in our first flat, we watched a lot of My Little Pony. It was My Little Pony, Steven Universe, that kind of era of TV we watched so much of.
I just recently actually watched Steven Universe.
So good.
And I had the most wonderful time. Man. And I want to cosplay Pearl because I kind of relate to her a little too much.
I always get the song stuck in my head, still to this day. Like, I know I'm not that smart, I know I'm not that... whatever. I got the words wrong straight away. Let me drive my van into your heart. Let me drive my van into your heart.
I didn't know we were getting blue karaoke today, but I love it.
Oh yeah. Every day is blue karaoke, Joy. I do not stop singing. This is possibly the longest I had gone without singing.
Whoa.
Anna's quickly grabbing her phone to let you know that this is legit.
Can confirm.
I may not like How I Met Your Mother, but I very much relate with Marshall from How I Met Your Mother in the amount he sings and the singing about absolutely nothing. Like everything I'm doing is just singing. I can't control it. It just happens.
It just happens. It just be like that sometimes, and
sometimes you just have to let the music take you.
Exactly.
And dance the night away.
And Twice style?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Speaking of Twice, I am so curious. How was Twice?
It was so good.
Okay.
It was so good. The best thing though was not Twice. They were fantastic, but it was like the hottest day of the year, and the venue had aircon.
Oh
So
my
like
goodness.
that was a real like hero. We had been traveling across London on the tube, traveling down to London on the train, just absolutely melt. And then we started queuing for the merch, and it was outside, and I was like, we're gonna be here for like an hour. In the UK, there's a scheme called the Sunflower Scheme, where like if you've got hidden disabilities, which of course with the autism and ADHD, I've got that lanyard. You get a lanyard and you can wear it, and
Hmm.
they're meant to like people are meant to be aware of it and just make small adjustments if possible.
Yeah.
But I had this on, like, and it was the first time that I had a security guard come up to me and be like, "You're not waiting in this queue for the merchandise," and he took me into the shop straight away.
Oh
I
my
was like,
goodness.
"Wow, this is amazing. This is the best." I then got to spend all my money that I don't have on my poor financial decisions. Um, and then we got into the venue proper, and yeah, aircon, and it was everything. And
I
there is my cat
have been
meowing rather
seeing
loudly.
the like TikToks and stuff of their cute little crochet outfits uh
Yeah,
from this leg of the tour. And I'm like, gosh, I want to be blue right now. I want to see their cute little crochet
I
outfits.
took so many photos. Now we were a fair way back, but the view was fantastic. You could quite easily see them. Couldn't necessarily see like facial reactions and stuff, but there were also a lot of screens.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, it was fantastic. Um, there were a few songs that I wish they'd done that they didn't properly, but it's their first tour. They're not gonna their first tour over in the UK at least. They're
Yeah,
not gonna hit every song.
exactly.
Like they're not gonna hit every deep cut. Like I've been a fan for like 7 years. Like I do know every song. So there are gonna be ones there that are not the fan favorites that are not gonna get played. But yeah, it was everything I wanted it to be really. All the solo stuff was good, and importantly, Jonghyun did not cover the Lizzo song that she
Oh,
had
thank
been covering.
goodness.
Yeah, um, we were like, I'd get it if she did, but I hope she doesn't. But
Yeah.
she didn't, so we were good. It was a Justin Timberlake song.
Oh, okay. I'm
Um,
okay with JT.
it was "Can't Stop the Feeling." That was
Oh,
it. "Can't Stop the Feeling" because they had the lyrics on the screen like popping up like a,
yeah.
a music video that's like a lyric video,
Uh huh.
except it said "Can't Stop the Feeing," and it
The
just didn't have the
feeling.
L in it because it's like there's just no L today or something, I guess. But it just yeah, and the font made it look like it said "Can't Stop the Peeing," and I was like, this is not great. But she slayed it. It was great. Oh, I said slay. I can't. I'm not gonna get away with that.
I just realized that
That
you
was.
can move the arms.
You can move the arms.
You can move the arms.
Amazing.
Wow. I
We're at
can't
88%. Holy cow.
I can't stop the feeing right now.
Can't stop the feeling. But yeah, it was so much fun. Unfortunately, there was another K-pop show that we were meant to be going to
Mm-hmm.
this Friday that is no longer happening.
Aw.
Um, we bought tickets to an event called K-pop Lux, and it was like a 3-day event happening in London.
Mm-hmm.
ITZY were going to do their first ever like European show
Mm-hmm.
at it on the Sunday. So we bought tickets to the Sunday. They then dialed it back to a 2-day event um, and cancelled the Sunday.
Aw.
But we got the refund for that immediately, and
Mm-hmm.
then they gave us like a ticket link to get tickets to the Friday or the Saturday if we wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And they announced that ITZY would now be playing the Friday,
Ah.
and so would Dreamcatcher. So we
Ah.
were like, okay, this is
That's
now
a good
2 bands.
time. Yeah.
Like, forget the rest of the lineup. There's some good bands there, but this was like, I think in terms of like girl groups, I'd say Dreamcatcher are your favorite, Anna, and they're definitely like top 5 for me. So I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, sure, we will go to this. And then last Wednesday they cancelled the whole thing.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
that took me on like a journey.
Can we move the tail? Is that something we have control over?
Can we move the tail? No. I don't. see tail
I'm just
options.
going to grab the scaffolding and move it to the butt.
The butt.
The butt. So yeah, we were meant to be seeing Itzy and Dreamcatcher this Friday, but instead, I'm playing video games. So you know, it could be worse.
Yeah, could
I've
be
got
worse.
2 weeks off work, so I can't complain. And Anna gets the day holiday back that she
that's
would have been
nice.
taking. I can clean the tail. Ah, what a time to be alive. Yeah, we've seen Dreamcatcher anyway, so like,
Yeah.
it would have been amazing, but you know, it's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
to be getting that £180 back whenever it does come back will be quite nice.
My as for those of you who don't know, my favorite K-pop group is SHINee and has been SHINee since I got into them in 2013. And I still have yet to see them live only because of how expensive their tickets are.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is a lot of K-pop is really, really restrictively expensive, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's so frustrating. Like I had to buy tickets to see Twice. Like
Mm-hmm.
I could justify it, and I could just about figure out how I was gonna get that money at work, but like how we were gonna piece it together and be like, okay, this is the tier of ticket we can afford, and then let's go up one because we can then justify it as like, well, you know, it's a one-time thing. I'm never going to see
Yeah.
Twice again. I'm fine with that, unless it's at like a bigger event and they're one of many bands.
Are
But
there K-cons in the
no,
UK?
not yet. There's always hope that there could be, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's grown so much over here in the last 5 years, really, since BTS played at Wembley Stadium,
Mm.
which we went to and we got soaked.
Ooh.
Because
Fun.
J-Hope's song, he had water catapults. And we were standing like near the front. We'd somehow convinced ourselves that we'll buy the most expensive tickets. I don't regret it. I could do with that money now, but you know, it is what it is. It was BTS.
Yeah, it was BTS.
And yeah, J-Hope's solo involved water cannons, so that sucked.
Fun.
Twice. Once right at the start and once right at the end.
Oh goodness. Hobie.
So we're like, ugh. Yeah, but it was great fun. It was great fun. So we've seen what, BTS. I then went to see Luna on my own.
Mm-hmm.
Then we saw Dreamcatcher. Then I went to see Odd Eye Circle, formerly of Luna,
Yeah.
on my own.
Formerly Luna.
Yep. And then we saw Twice. So that's our K-pop gig history. And it's all been so expensive. Apart from, like, I think the cheapest one was Luna.
Mm.
Like, it was cheaper than Odd Eye Circle. But yeah, everything's gotten more expensive since I saw Luna just a year ago. So
I know
it was
that
one of their final
Luna's
shows
coming
before
to Denver pretty soon too. So
Lucemble.
yeah, Lucemble, but still Luna.
Yeah, it's Luna. Yeah. I've really been enjoying listening to Lucemble.
Yeah, I think that they're coming soon. But the like K-pop groups that I've seen, why am I cleaning something that's already clean?
You know, for fun.
But the K-pop groups that I've seen are GOT7 and then Monster X.
Nice.
There
is a GOT7 song I always get stuck in my head as well. It's Just Right.
That song is such a freaking earworm.
Yeah, I think there's the dance in the chorus where they're like just panning left to right and then cross their arms and pan back the other way, and I always just get that little bit.
The song gets stuck in my head. That's one of those songs that I refuse to do at like K-pop RPDs because guys, I am a professional dancer. I teach dance for a living. And that's really why I got into K-pop, is so that I could learn more dances and, you know, make more dancer friends. And yeah, so I refuse to do that song at any time during RPDs when that song comes on. I'm like, this is the song I'm not doing. Just
You
because
mean it's
of
not
the
just right? I'm sorry. I will
It
stop
is
with
just right.
the bad dad jokes, because I won't stop with the dad jokes. I never stop with the dad jokes.
You don't need to stop. Who needs to stop? You're a
It's true.
dad. You don't need to
I
stop.
spend a lot of time sending Whistler dad jokes on TikTok.
And then he says them back on stream. So, you know, you're doing a world of
exactly.
service.
I've got to give him the inspiration.
Exactly. You're doing the world a service.
This is such a wild level. Like, how is this still going? This
I
thing,
don't
we've
know.
been cleaning it for years. Like, I was in my 20s when we started. I was not. But, you know. Time is imaginary.
I am in my
I'm in my late
20s
30s
whenever
now,
we've
it's
started.
fine. I don't remember my 20s. I barely remember my 30s, and I'm in them.
Well, as we've discussed, maybe the theme of today, like maybe whenever I post this to YouTube, I can put like a little quotation marks, and we can put just like time isn't real or time is an illusion.
Yeah, that's fair. That is valid. That is fair. Do you have any K-pop girl groups that are your kind of jam?
I was
and why
really
is it Dreamcatcher?
into so currently my favorite girl group is Twice, and it will be Twice till the end of time, I presume. But I used to be really into FX.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were my favorite girl group, mainly because I thought Luna was really pretty and she's the prettiest girl ever. But
Is it FX that did Four Walls?
yes.
Or is that? Yeah. Wait. Yes.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes. FX
And
did
it's-
Four Walls, and they also did
Yeah.
Electric Shock, which is their other really
Yeah.
popular one. Some really good songs. If you guys want some really good songs to listen to, go listen to Four Walls and Electric Shock. Those are really good. That was the other thing we were going to do on stream today, was make a playlist for everybody.
Yep. Definitely not just for Grant.
Definitely not just for Grant, but just sitting here and making the should we call it the blue fish or the joy molga?
Whatever floats your boat.
That playlist.
Yeah, it's most for my input. It would be mostly Dreamcatcher. Just that is my go-to at the moment. Like, Twice will always be my number one. That was the band that really got me into K-pop. It was Twice. I was sad, and I heard Likey, and I saw the video, and I was like, yeah, me Likey.
Me
Likey. How did they know?
You know, in fact, I do like you. That is true.
It turns out he did in fact Likey.
I filmed the dance cover for Likey at Disney World, so that song
Amazing.
kind of hits a really sensitive and nice spot, you know? I think about that a lot.
I haven't been to Disney in ages, and I miss it.
I
had
went
this kind
for
of
my
bit where we
junior
went
year.
3 years in a row to the one in Paris,
Uh-huh.
which it doesn't compare, but like, it's the best we've got on a budget.
Yeah.
It's the best we've got nearby. We've been to the Florida one together once. We went for my 30th, which is stupid of us because my birthday is the 2nd of July.
Oh,
and that is right in like
goodness.
peak heat.
Yeah.
So there we are in Florida in July, dying.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, we always
Yeah,
went
it was
in
dumb.
November is whenever we went. Because we
That
go
makes more sense.
so I've went twice. And if Mama Fish was here, she would be able to talk about it more. But we went twice, and we went over Thanksgiving weekend both times. Because if you go over Thanksgiving weekend, the right after Thanksgiving, they put up all the Christmas decorations.
Nice.
So it was really nice and really fun to see.
So they have what in October they do the haunted dress ups and everything, don't they?
Yeah.
It'd be cool to see some. We were there for the 4th of July, so we got that bit. We got the ridiculous amount of fireworks during the daytime, which I do not understand.
Yeah, I don't get that either. I'm not a big fireworks
Was
person. I don't.
Yeah, I hate them.
I don't like the
I
sounds they
don't
make.
mind them if they're done professionally and stuff, but
Exactly.
so many people do them recreationally, and it's never good. It never looks good, and it's always dangerous, and it scares my cat, and is dangerous for wildlife. So like,
Exactly.
screw fireworks. Just do drones.
Just do
Pokemon
drones.
do, and they're so cool.
The Pokemon ones I see from Twitter are really cool. It makes me want to see them in real life. Really
One
nice. One day. One
Not
day
today.
we all take a trip to Japan and we all go see the Pokemon drone show. And that's the whole reason we go.
And then we immediately just turn around and go back.
And then we just
Like,
we're like,
we've
wow,
done it now.
great.
Completed it. Been to Japan, saw some drones, went home.
Went home.
I would spend way too much money in Japan.
I
I'm not
fear that for me
responsible.
too. Cause like, it's already bad whenever Lawrence and I go to con and stuff. Like all of the prints behind me right now are all of the prints that we get at con. But like, going to Japan too, that would, I feel like that would end not great for either of us. Especially like if we went to like South Korea right afterwards.
Yeah.
Like, I would come home with
That
way
would be
more
dangerous.
clothes than I should. That'd probably not be good. Anyway, Bloom, what do you think has been the best like phase in your life so far? You're allowed to say this one too, but what do you think?
Yeah,
What do you think?
it really is. There's no comparison really. The last 2 to 3 years, and yeah, it's going to be partly because of being a parent. My son is 3 in November. I made no secret about it. I really struggled when he was born. But in these last few years, I've got to know myself so much better and feel so much more confident and comfortable in pretty much everything to do with myself. That the way I heard it described once was getting your sexy right, which feels wrong to say, but like I have no like self-doubt when it comes to like the way I dress or anything. That I just don't care what people think. I'm happy with what I do. I've got to learn like autism and so much more about myself in the last couple of years, as well as knowing more about what I can and can't do, what my limitations are and stuff with being a parent. Like I am not good with other people's bodily bits, so I have been awful at doing nappies. I will try when I have to, but thankfully Anna is understanding and such a hero with it that she knows that is one big thing for me, and that I cannot like bring myself to do it. But that is, again, it's the best part of my life because it means I've gotten to know that about myself as opposed to just suffering through things. And it's because we're so similar in a lot of ways, the two of us. Like we're both autistic, ADHD, and we both have things that we can and can't do. And in the last 2 or 3 years, we've really gotten to explore that and know that because we've been forced to, because our son is a nightmare. He's a lovely nightmare.
A lovely nightmare.
He is also massively ADHD and definitely on the autism spectrum. We've not got like any assessments or anything yet because he's not even 3 and they're kind of a bit slow to get to things.
Yeah.
But he kind of forces you to do things that you wouldn't necessarily do, and it's forced us to interact with people that we wouldn't normally interact with.
Mm.
And because I've been doing Twitch and stuff, I've been the person to talk to people, because Anna doesn't do talking to people.
Mm.
People suck.
People do suck. That's true.
Am I stuck? No, I can just turn around. That's how moving works. I then fell. But yeah, it's definitely been the streaming, the podcasting, the parenting, and also my work life has been a lot better.
Mm.
That I've been, yeah, definitely the best stage of my life, because I'm not suffering through the not understanding the autism and ADHD side of myself, rather than I'm beginning to allow myself to experience that and acknowledge that, whilst then letting things affect me in certain ways without having to try and fight against it, because I know that it's not healthy to force myself to be in situations that are going to cause me excessive stress.
Yeah.
Ooh, I got another ding. How are we still at 98%?
I don't know.
Its fan belts are 90% clean.
What is a fan
Its
belt?
leg wells are 85%. Its claw wrists are only at 77. It has claw wrists?
I think it's these.
Does it?
Oh, this is a cannon. Never mind. I completely lied.
How
This
could
is
you?
definitely a cannon. I did not mean to lie
Shoulder
to you.
connector. Shoulder is not wrist.
I just looked at chat and I want.
Oh yeah, chat.
I'm
It's not
so.
just you and I, is it?
I'm so. I'm screaming at the fact that they said, "Holy crap, Earthworm looks different," and then Dustin. Dustin says Mega
Yes,
Earthworm
Brandy.
confirmed. Yes. Guys, this is the Mega Earthworm. You
If only
guys
we could
die
paint
here.
it blue. I stumbled into a random shiny earthworm yesterday in the DLC.
They're
I
blue?
was just like, what is on the ground? Oh, it's blue.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
the
blue.
best things are blue. What is the claw wrist? I'm attacking the claw in the assumption that there's a wrist in there somewhere.
There's a wrist there somewhere. Just wiggle it around a little bit. Maybe if I lower it.
Spray you a bit.
Oh. I don't. What?
Getting Overwatch flashbacks.
Oh.
My dodging and jumping and shooting at the same time.
I used to be so into Overwatch.
Same.
And then
my
I don't play it anymore
really
because
through Overwatch.
Oh, really?
I know, right? The first community I really joined at the start of the pandemic was Zoe, who's the host of the Overwatch League. It was her community, and so I think that might be my first Discord server. Zoe's, and we'd play Overwatch together, a group of us, with Zoe as well. Yeah, I've just not really gone back to it. And I used to watch the Overwatch League every weekend. I went to a London Spitfire event, met all of the team from that first year, and they're now in their 6th year, and it's probably the last year.
Wow.
I think it's 6th year. That feels like too many years.
It feels like too
because
many
it was the
years.
pandemic. Like, it hasn't been 6 years. Has it? Time is made up.
I don't know how to time either, so it's okay. We'll
Oh, the fan bells.
I just love the Mega Earthworm. That's so funny. I can't. But piggybacking off of the the best phase of your life, what do you if you feel comfortable talking about it, what do you feel like is the worst phase that you've been through, and how did you get through it, and things like that?
So I have probably every couple of years or so go through a really bad depressive phase. I had one earlier this year. I wouldn't say that was the worst, but it kind of knocked me out of streaming for a while. What actually got me back into streaming at the time was I did a collab with Grant, and that was like my first stream back. And after that, I felt kind of settled. But the worst was I was, let's say, 18, 19, 20, 21, that kind of college, university age.
Yeah.
I remember distinctly being driven to the city where I went to university and saying to my parents in the car, like, I do not want to go. I don't want to do this. I can't do this. And that was my first like autistic meltdown that I remember. I didn't know that at the time. I just thought I was a huge ball of anxiety. And I didn't want to go. I couldn't bring myself to do it. I did go. And yeah, it was kind of great. But it was still the worst time of my life. I went through so much struggling to take care of myself in terms of like eating well. I still don't eat great. I'm autistic. I have sensitivities.
Me too, man.
But I like, oh, you cleaned 2 things. Nice.
I don't know what I cleaned, but it was in here.
I'm going to get on the other one. But yeah, that university life, my second year of university, I ended up living with people who I didn't really like. And I got super lonely and just depressed and just kind of withdrew. And got a lot worse. And then I met a couple of guys through like the university's like housing scheme. I managed to find like someone I would generally consider to be like one of my best friends, and we moved in together for that 3rd year, and it was great. But I completely stopped caring about the actual studying because like I grew up as the gifted kid.
Oh, me
I
too.
never had to learn how to study.
Me too.
And I just couldn't study. So I actually failed my degree. In part because I couldn't study, in part because we got robbed, like burgled, the week before my exams.
Oh my goodness.
And that week in particular was the worst of my life.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it absolutely sucked because the way that the housing worked is we had 3 bedrooms. It was 2 upstairs, 1 downstairs, and I was that downstairs bedroom. And so when the burglars broke in, it was my bedroom.
Oh.
And my stuff.
Yeah.
So being an autistic individual who can be quite possessive about his things, that was the next biggest kind of breakdown. And it was all within the space of like 2 years. There were so many other bits in that time that I look back and go like, oh yeah, this was not cool.
Yeah, no, that doesn't sound cool.
But again, it was partly through not knowing enough about myself and not knowing how to handle and process things. That sure, yeah, the burglary, that sucked.
Yeah.
But it alone is not the reason I failed my degree. I've since did resits like the next month and passed them all. It's fine. But I'm not good at exams and I'm not good at studying. So like knowing that about myself now, I'm like more forgiving of myself when it comes to my degree. It's just like, oh yeah, no one told me I was bad at exams directly.
Yeah.
But in like going for this ADHD assessment, I've had to look at all my old school reports and they all go like, Blue has had a disappointing exam result. I was like, why did no one tell me?
I was just like, tell me that I was
I'm
not
the smart
great.
kid. I just did everything. I got all the answers generally right.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently I was not good at exams. So that whole like academia part, yeah, not my favorite.
Yeah, I get that. I completely understand.
I was also at the time I was a very, very lonely guy as well. Like I was never that kind of incel, like why don't women look at me? Why don't people look at me? I was never that. I don't have time for that. But I didn't really have anyone to share any of these burdens with because everyone in like the friend group I had from that first year kind of coupled off and gone their own way, and I was just like, I do maths.
I do math. That's it.
Yeah, and it wasn't really until I met Anna a few years later that I was like, ah, a person who understands
That's so nice.
and likes good music. We actually met at a gig, really, so
Aw,
it was not K-pop, unfortunately. And
music
there's
is
still
so
so many
music.
bits that are not clean, including these claw wrists.
Yeah, I was like, what is the claw wrist? What are these fan belts? I don't.
Is it gonna like
Oh
there's
wait, I
two
bet
of them? So
if you click it, it like highlights. That's what someone told me.
but how do I click it?
If you like,
There's a continuous man. I've been holding the left mouse button down like a chump. You can just click the right one and just leave it.
oh,
Wow, the
wait,
things you learn.
where's the fan belts? I'm so confused. I clicked it. They're supposed to be glowing. Oh, it's these.
In your face, fan belts.
I'll get you one of these days. Okay.
Yeah, we met at a Taking Back Sunday gig.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a little bit different from K-pop.
yeah.
My music has always been that pop punk to K-pop pipeline.
Yeah, me too. I'm glad that we were around the same kind of pipeline. Because
It's the
I
best
went
pipeline.
from listening to 5 Seconds of Summer, which I still listen to 5 Seconds of Summer, and they were very much in their, I'm a pop punk band that's geared towards adolescent girls. Because we're adolescent boys. Like,
There's a song by a guy called John LaJoy. What? I'm not entirely sure. There's like, we market our songs to young, impressionable, insecure teenage girls. I was like,
me.
yeah, I get that with a lot of music. Young, impressionable, and insecure teenage girls. Yep.
Oh my god, I found the claw wrist! It was just like hidden back here.
That's that butt worm. That absolute bum worm. You got this, Joy.
I'll get you one of these days. Claw wrist. Oh, cannon.
I don't. Apparently, the cannon was also dirty. I can see it. Claw wrist.
How to step away is we talking about Twice again. No, we were just talking about music. But
Oh, yeah, and as Mandy said, Thrice earlier as well. Thrice was another band that I was big into. So when I started getting into Twice, and I found out that their fan group is Once, and they Once like to think of anti-Twice fans as Thrice, and I was like, I like Thrice. I really like Thrice. I just haven't listened to them in ages. The Artist in the Ambulance is a great song. See, Kahuna Pat gets it.
where are these headlights?
Oh, mate, I don't know. It has lights. Oh yeah.
Apparently
there's
there's
everywhere.
lights. Oh, it's these things. I see. It's the lights on the chest. I wouldn't say that's a
It's
head.
the chest lights. Yeah.
The chest lights, exactly.
It's just frustrating that there are things that are 99% clean. Like the shoulder wells. Why is it keeping wells in its shoulder? I know that that's the... Oh, shoulder well clean.
Congrats.
Well, I guess. Go accident.
Alright, which one of you isn't clean?
I'm having so much fun playing this game with someone. Like, I was having fun playing it earlier on my own, but I wasn't really sure what I was doing. I was just kind of running around a lot.
Recently, I've found that I think I like to prefer playing games with other people. Because, like, I have always been. So, I have a younger brother, and he's always played games with, like, other people, like, on, like, his, like, PlayStation stuff, and, yeah, it's always been, like, a thing that like I would
Mm-hmm.
play like things like Kingdom Hearts and like other things that like that. And then he would go play like Destiny. And then like it was just like recently that I've come to realize that I actually like playing games with other people and doing stuff like in tandem, you know?
That's fair. Where are the leg wells? Like, is that going to be where the legs disappear into? Yes. It's where the
The
legs
legs are
join the body.
disappearing! Okay, head casing. Okay. Let me
What you
turn
call
my
me?
phone back on.
Leg
I
well
wasn't
cleaning.
saying anything
Nice.
mean to you.
You called me a head casing.
I
No.
didn't mean it.
I know.
That's like
The
something that's
Mark
been
98
going
cannon
on.
barrel vent. I don't know what the Mark 98 cannon barrel vent is.
I found the casing. I don't know where the
Nice.
vent is.
Oh, I found it.
Oh,
So
congrats.
that's the vent. So it must be the other side.
What was I saying? I was saying something, and I completely forgot. Hey, remember how we were just talking about ADHD?
No.
No, I don't remember because I don't have object permanence.
Yep.
I have been talking to Lawrence that like the next place that we move into, I think we need to have glass cabinets. Because
Yeah.
I forget where our mugs are. I don't know where our mugs are. Like genuinely, I do not know where they are.
Oh,
They're
amazing.
missing and they're gone, and I just want to have tea and it's gone, and I don't know where the mugs are.
That's too real. And Pat, there is a one of the levels at least you have to clean like someone's entire back garden and patio, and so there's tons of like paving and stuff to clean. And yes, as Pat said, you were talking about playing games with other people compared to playing games alone.
But like my brother, like always, like he's made so many like other friends, like playing with other people and having
Oh, yeah, you
fun
were saying
times with other
Destiny, right?
people. Yeah, he's very much into Destiny. That's like one of his favorite games. But like I never got to really experience that because I played Minecraft by myself. And mainly it's because I was account sharing, but like that's besides the point. No one needs to tell Microsoft or Mojang that. But yeah, like I never.
Stuff is expensive.
Really did.
I'm all for crowdsourcing.
Exactly. But yeah, no, I never really did anything until I got my PC, which was like, oh gosh, 2 years ago? 3 years ago? I'm not entirely sure. It was some amount of time ago. But I think that like what's helped me like be I've been working on this head casing for so long. How is it still not clean? I think that's what's helped me like be I don't know, like, because I've always considered myself to be a kind and compassionate person. Oh, thank God. To be like a kind and compassionate person. I don't really pride myself on it, but at least like I like to think I am as much as anybody likes to think that they are, and I frequently get told that I am and stuff like that, but like oh my gosh, my brain is barely braining. Like where was I going with my sentences? I got so excited by the head casing that I forgot what I was saying in general.
Friends, games. You got your PC.
Oh yeah, so I feel like like because I started playing D&D online, and I feel like that has made like me like starting to like want to like do things with other people and, you know, interact with people who
I get
share
that
the
for sure.
my same interests, and I don't know, it's made me more of a compassionate person, I feel.
Yeah,
What?
there's definitely like bits of media and stuff that I know I've taken in that have made me a better person. Did we just finish it?
We did it!
Heck yeah.
Pog moment. Wonderful. But yeah, your bits of
I was
media.
celebrating. Yeah, bits of media. So, like, I know you and I have spoken about the Adventure Zone
Uh-huh.
before, but that entire McElroy family of media that they've kind of built up, there's definitely stuff that has affected me in a positive way. And like the idea of, so in the first arc, the Bureau of Balance arc of the Adventure Zone, the character
Mm-hmm.
Magnus, like one of his things was like he wanted to do good recklessly,
Mm-hmm.
and like I'm too anxious to do it recklessly, but I will always now find myself trying to do good, trying to be nice. I think I am a very personable
Mm-hmm.
person, able person. Yeah, I do good. Anna's reckless. Between us, we do good recklessly. It's fine.
It's really
Um,
good.
but I've got to the point where, and it's from having discussions with other people like Alora, that it's like I don't have time to worry about things that I can't control, but I am an anxious bundle of nerves. So when it's stuff like other people and talking and streaming, I kind of find myself just trying to be as nice as I can. Like I'm a big fan of being nice.
Mm-hmm.
That was a long way of saying I want to be nice.
I
Wait, did it?
I
Sorry,
find
you go.
the I don't
I
know,
think it
just
kicked me out of
oh,
your
oh no.
bit.
Okay. Everybody don't look. Everybody don't look. Everybody don't look. Actually here, let me do this.
Heck yeah, they can. I will do lots of talking. So, chat, how you doing? This has been so much fun. Like, I've really liked playing this because I say it didn't really click with me like playing it solo until today. I played it a bit more and I got a little bit more into it, but like it's been great fun playing this with someone. I think I'm also in that kind of mode of I feel like I play games. I have more fun playing games with other people. I'm very much a people person, despite being an introvert. You know, if that makes any sense. I may or may not have got that, but we'll see. It's loading something. Hey, we're in.
We
I'm
did it.
in.
Don't worry about it. We
Heck
did it,
yeah.
guys. So, yeah.
It's a good thumbs up.
For our last like little 30-ish minutes, just until we get this SUV done, what do you think your favorite memory has been?
I don't really have memories.
You know, that's valid. Actually.
So I have something called aphantasia, which
Mm-hmm.
people are slowly becoming more aware of,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like I have no mind's eye. So
Yeah.
someone says to you, picture an apple. Most people can picture an apple in their head, and I cannot. It's just black. There's nothing there. It's I think in part goes hand in hand with the autism, and that like, what do
Mm-hmm.
you mean picture an apple? That's a ridiculous thing to say.
Yeah.
That's not something someone can do. It's legit something I cannot do. So when it comes to a lot of memories and stuff, it can be quite sad and quite depressing that
Mm-hmm.
there's like, I just don't remember a lot of things. Now, part of that's also the ADHD,
Mm-hmm.
um, but there are things that I do remember. I do have memories. I do. I'm not like some RPG character that has just washed up and has no memory of their life
You
before. And
got
I'm not Tidus
isekai.
from Final Fantasy X. Yeah, I totally got isekai. I'm reborn as a vending machine in another world, and now I wander this dungeon alone. Um, Great anime, by the way. Ridiculous anime. Um, Reborn as a vending machine. So weird. But yeah, there's definitely some memories that I do have, but they're not as strong. Like I have a much better recollection of things than being able to like picture what happened. It's like I remember how I felt at seeing like Yellow Card's final show that
Mm-hmm.
turned out to not be a final show. Or there was a band called the Swellers who I went to their final UK show, and they were such a big part of my life. And their music was so key for me, and seeing them disband was heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to go to a final show in a tiny little room in the middle of London, and just being in that crowd was everything at the time.
Oh,
Now I
so
probably
nice.
don't really care. Uh, I've moved on. I still listen to the Swellers when I can, but I'm a K-pop guy now.
I'm a K-pop
Like,
guy now.
come
I've
on,
moved
go
on.
back and change your music from pop punk to K-pop, and I'll listen. Just sing it in Korean, and maybe I'll listen. Um, so there's lots of things that are linked to music. Like when I was in that third year of university, it may have been the worst personal time for me, but the people I met back then were some of the best people I've ever met. And the guy I lived with at the time was a gig promoter.
Mm.
And one of my best sets of memories, I guess, is anytime he put on a show, and it was generally like ska punk, because there was quite a big ska scene in the UK at that time,
Mm-hmm.
which is weird to think because like nobody listens to ska anymore. Um, but every time he'd put on a gig, I would work the door, and I just have such good memories of all of those shows and the community that was there. Lately, though, my memories are generally streaming based or
Mm.
to do with my son and like um, taking even like taking him to preschool. Like when Anna swapped from doing 3 days a week at work to 4 days a week at work,
Mm-hmm.
it meant that I would be dropping our son off at play school. And just having those moments of taking him and it being just me and him, they're really cool. There we go. We smashed that.
We did it.
How did we do that so fast?
I don't
Because it's
know.
got no claws.
It's because it's got no claws and no wrists. Um, but yeah. Um, Thank you so much, Blue, for coming and hang out with me today. I do
No
have
worries.
like one more question for
Yeah, go
you,
for it.
but
I'm not going anywhere.
we're just gonna hang out, and I'm just gonna talk about it while I repeatedly press our time lapse over and over again. But
I do like getting messages, notifications that are like, this person wants to send you a message. It's like, no, you don't.
do
You're going to
you
be an
you do what
artist
do
saying,
you want
hey,
to send me a message?
this is someone saying, hey, I have an amazing idea for you. And I feel like their profile picture is stolen art. So yeah,
Oh,
Twitch artist. Wow, we're going to
mm,
block that one.
look at that.
I
um,
know, wild.
but
Sorry, distracted. I looked at my phone. It was a big mistake.
I found a new question to ask during these things. So you're going to
Oh, yeah.
be my little guinea pig for my first one of these questions. So whenever we go back to Grant and CJ eventually, we can ask them as well. Um, but if you could go back in time, like, or just like anywhere in time, it has to be in your own life. Would you go forward or would you go backwards or would you go at all?
I would go backwards.
Yeah.
Um, I think for me, uh, I don't want to like harp on about like the autism and getting to know myself and getting
Mm-hmm.
to understand myself, but I know my life could have been so much easier
Mm-hmm.
if I was even aware of this as an idea. Uh, and yeah, just if I could go back and tell myself just to be more kind to myself. Let myself get frustrated at things. It's not something to be upset about. It's something that, yes, I can work on, but I'm not necessarily going to be in control of. And to just be able to tell myself to be more patient and more understanding,
Yeah.
would be it. Because I've never been like an angry boy
Yeah.
or a hateful person, but to just be more self-aware.
Yeah.
But having the tools to be self-aware. So I think if I was able to go back and tell myself that, either that or I would go back in time and just like get I know you said in our own life, but I'd go back and get every historical figure, put them in a phone booth, and then do like a school presentation.
Oh.
Basically, I just want to watch Bill and Ted again, Joy. We mentioned it earlier, and it's like it's such a ridiculous film, but I love it, and I now want to watch it.
I do understand though, like with like knowing all of these things like about yourself, and then afterwards like thinking about it. I've been thinking about it a lot recently. That's why I made it one of these questions. But I think I would do kind of the same thing you would, is that like go back in time and, you know, tell little Joy, the little fish that she was, like that sometimes like you don't need to get like frustrated that you don't remember where you put like a thing, or like just anything related to ADHD and or autism. I don't know which, if it's and or both, we don't know yet. But like I feel like it's one of those things that I would also like to go.
Self-diagnosis is very real as well.
For real.
Just throw that out there.
It's especially in America. Diagnoses will probably ruin your life just a little bit. But yeah, I think it's one of those things that I would definitely want to go back in time and tell little Joy that.
That's fair.
Anyway.
For what it's worth, though, current Joy is definitely very good. So I think even were you to go back, you might make things easier for yourself, but you turned out all right.
Thanks.
So at least there's that.
Thanks, Blue. I think you turned out all right.
Oh, cheers, mate.
But
sorry,
yeah,
I got
thank
a
you
bit
so
too
much, Blue.
Essex there with my accent, which is the county I'm from, which is responsible for The Only Way Is Essex, which is an awful show and not representative of the area at all.
Well, if you're going full accent, that I can go full my southern accent, you know. But thank you so much, Blue. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with me today. I really appreciate it. I'm glad that you had fun. It's my ultimate goal. But yeah, thank you so much for coming. Thank you everyone else for coming to join us in chat. I really appreciate you guys. I really appreciate all the like love that I've been getting on this series. Again, this will be on YouTube later, at a later date. I don't know what date, but a later date, and I will post it in my Discord. If you guys want to join my Discord, here is the link. Yeah, thank you guys so much for coming to hang out. Even if you were like, if you guys were in chat, if you guys were just lurking, it's really appreciative. And Blue, thank you again for agreeing to this and coming to hang out with me and coming to play a silly little Powerwash game.
Absolutely loved it. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
You're wonderful. Everything's wonderful. You're wonderful. Everybody else is wonderful. Remember guys, remember to all stay hydrated. Remember to go get yourself a snack. We have been up for about almost 2 hours. I looked at my imaginary watch. Almost 2 hours. So
I have one quick thing I just want to say. We're all human first and Twitch viewers and chatters second. So
oh my god, Blue stole it before me. Blue stole it
Sorry,
from me.
I've been saying it on my streams lately as my friend Joy would say, we're all humans first. And
we are all humans first. You stole it from me. But yeah, guys, go get yourself a snack. Make sure you guys like get up, walk around, stretch those little leggies of yours. Take a break from your screen because I bet you guys have been looking at it for a long time.